kind of monsters in their respective industries, and because Wikipedia is content driven and Amazon is transaction driven, that
I'm
they
gonna
end up on.
agree. I mean, it's probably I'm not sure, but I'd say yes because anytime I do a search for anything, I'm doing research on something,
Wikipedia is
Wikipedia
there.
always comes up, and I'm like, God dang, I'd like to see somebody else's opinion other
Other
than
than Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. Everything they come up for, so
Well, it's
man,
kind of cool though. Every article in Wikipedia is somebody else's opinion,
yeah, I guess
and
you're
there may
right.
even be multiple opinions
In
inside
the
one
same
article.
same
So
article, so
Wikipedia is pretty interesting stuff. But it's an interesting concept, and it really has worked. Remember when we used to have, when we were like, oh, damn, I got to do a report on Spain. Let
oh
me let
yeah,
me either go to the library, or we
you go to
actually
the
happen to have
encyclopedia.
walk over and get this big book and look up Spain, and then read like the 18 pages they
Yeah.
had on Spain, and now you just type Spain,
Yeah, now you just copy
copy
it.
it, paste it.
You just plagiarize it from Wikipedia. That's what's up.
Kids have it so easy
Yes,
these
they do
days. This is
now. Yes, they
ridiculous.
do.
I'm gonna buy, and I'm expecting twins. I'm gonna buy encyclopedias and make them use
Make them,
encyclopedias. Damn it.
gosh, I don't
Or
even
at
know if
least
kids know what an encyclopedia is these days.
or at
Or an
least,
iPad
yeah, yeah,
with a Wikipedia app.
Oh man, we're on some sort of roll today. Let's see. Oh, Google called me. Like I said earlier.
Talk about that. That's going to be interesting. So you're going to start getting calls from Google,
Yep.
and it actually is Google. Well, I don't know whatever country you're listening to, it may not be, but it was Google.
Google actually called me. Yeah. And apparently, I think it's San Jose and Houston are the two starting cities. Don't ask me why it would be those two for a new service that they have, and it's called, I think, local sponsored listing. And so they called me. Of course, they wanted money.
Hmm.
They didn't just want me to tell them how good they were,
Yeah.
and to thank me for referring to them repeatedly in our internationally known podcast. No, no, it wasn't that. It was they want our money. And what they have is we're all familiar with Google local results. So in this particular case, you can go to a browser and type in go to a search engine and type in well, not a search engine. This is the one time I really mean Google.
Yeah.
Go to Google and type in lawyer Houston, and in the local spots, you'll notice that there's a little something different. There's a little like yellow post-it or highlighter looking thing, and then a little sponsored ad there. And the concept is that as it was pitched is that makes it stand out. So it was kind of interesting. This is we're in the business of sales, so when we're talking to people, we know numbers we're throwing out and numbers that we don't want to reveal or whatever in a particular case. Although we really don't have many we don't want to reveal. But he said, right now you're getting a 5% click-through rate, and I was like, wow, that's pretty good. And he's like, you think that's good? I was like, yes,
Yeah.
I'm in the industry. I know that's good, actually. And he's like, oh, okay, well, that's about what we're seeing on average. Is any of the sponsored listings are getting, any of the local Google local listings are actually getting about a 5% click-through rate. And I was like, oh, that's great. Well, this clearly is going to make it stand out. It's got the yellow thing. It's highlighted. It says sponsored. It makes it a little bit bigger. And so I said, so what kind of click-through rate are you seeing on those? Oh, it varies.
Nice, nice not way to answer.
Nice non-answer.
Yeah.
Thank you. The cost for it is $25, which I think is pretty reasonable. It depends on your market. We have a lot of things that we're involved in, so in this particular case, we probably won't do it. They called for PatrickWanis.com. He's got hypnosis CDs for quitting smoking and losing weight. And if you think about it, somebody who's typed quit smoking hypnosis Houston, which is actually where it comes up, is really looking for like a hypnotherapist in the Houston area. And it's a pretty tough sell to get them to go from I want a therapist to I want a CD. Or Patrick does do phone consultations, but a lot of people are very apprehensive about doing phone consultations. So, for $25 a month, we probably won't be doing it.
Here's my question, and my guess is assuming that they give these sales reps a list of companies that are probably already on the local maps.
And have spent time, probably also have spent some time actually creating a local entity.
Yeah, creating their setting up their Google local profile or Google
Yeah, that's
local
it.
business or whatever. So they're probably just calling them. And we probably should have asked them, okay, what about the people that aren't on this profile? Are you offering a service to them to get them on the profile? Because I'd probably say that's coming next.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
I'd probably say that is probably what's
Well,
coming next. Is,
so-
hey, we can put you in the local profile.
So your previous in your previous life, you were a Yellow Pages sales guy.
Yes,
Isn't he doing the same thing?
exactly.
You've already got a listing, right? The listing
Let's
is either
make it-
free or you've created the free listing. Let's make it more
Let's
effective.
put some funny color around it, or whatever.
Whatever I used to say.
Yeah, whatever I used to say. I think that's cool. So now, what countries they're offering this in, I don't know. Right now, just Houston and San Jose in the United States. But I think that's cool. That's just a testament. Hey, how Google is changing. Next month they're gonna say, all right, we're gonna have something else. Now there's gonna be Google something else, and now there's gonna be 30 listings on the first page. Google local, the natural results, and there's
Generic or whatever.
actually there is,
Organic,
because there's
yeah.
the sponsored listings already. So now there's
Yeah.
going to be 40.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, Google's very intelligent. You should always watch what they're doing. And if someone does try this, let us know how it works.
Yeah, that's a great.
Let us know how it, because there's somebody in Houston or in San Jose is going to take it. That's listening to the podcast. Is going to take advantage of it, and it might be it might be a great way to market a business for $25.
Yep.
You never
Well,
know.
and I think if you're doing window cleaning or if you're Joe the plumber,
Mhm.
and your listing's up there and you're getting a 5% click through, that is good. And if you can increase that even marginally, $25 a month, that's one customer.
Yeah.
That's-
That's definitely one customer. But I mean, to Google, seriously, if you're gonna call me and pitch me and have some solid numbers, I mean, anyone that's
And
not,
give us our link back.
thank you. Anyone
Yeah.
that's not a complete retard is not, and I probably shouldn't use that word, but
Did you tell me that's the actual word?
and
Yeah,
yes,
so
in
you can-
Houston schools, they actually use that in meetings. They use the term
So you
retard.
were talking to some teacher and she's like, "Yeah, I teach retards." And you're like,
And-
"Whoa,
yeah,
that sounds uncomfortable."
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not really comfortable with that. She's like, no, that's the term that we use. That's our principal uses that. I'm like, alrighty then. But if you're gonna call me and pitch me, anyone that's not a retard is gonna ask you questions like, okay, if the industry standard is a 5% click through rate, what is the click through rate of people that have this particular feature on their local listing?
Yeah.
So if
Yeah,
you can't
because
answer that, like how the hell are you gonna sell somebody, man? Come on.
Well, the reality is it probably goes from like 5 to 5.5%, which is within the margin of error of any particular whatever. So
0.5%.
you were actually listening, huh? so it's it's within some error, and then of course some people aren't getting any additional results, and then who knows. The one thing that I didn't add, and maybe I'll give them a call back, is does sponsored listing guarantee that you end up in one of the top 10? Because we know right now that there are people, and I think it's related to the key terms that are in your listing, but we usually identified that the Google local listings were related to the center of the city, right? So
it makes sense to think that.
Yeah. If you type in a zip code, okay, that's one thing, because then you can list people in that zip code. But if you type in Houston or some of our suburbs, Baytown, Sugarland, whatever, then let's just say Houston. So all of those people who serve the suburbs will also serve Houston typically. And who are the first 7? There are more than 20 plumbers in Houston.
Yeah. And who decides how those 10 get their local listing?
And does doing a sponsored listing increase your ability
chance
to
of
be
getting
on? No.
And why is there like 5 in the center of the city and then like 3 that are way out here on the outskirts? Why? Well, I mean, I would love to know the answer to that question.
Complicated issues. The other reason that we wouldn't do it with Patrick is because currently when you type in "quit smoking hypnosis Houston," there's only 3.
Oh.
So to make us stand out of 3, maybe that's why we're. Well, he would argue that 5% isn't that good. Maybe that's why 5%, which I think is actually good, is because for every time somebody sees our listing, there's only 3 other competitors.
And then here's another question. What is the click-through rate for the natural listings?
Yeah, give us that number.
Yeah, and then let me compare that to the local maps.
So now the thing that and this is something that we will be talking to people in terms of branding, you really are going to want to have a sponsored Google local business listing. You're going to want to have pay-per-click sponsored ads because it's, again, about branding. And you're going to want to have organic. And that's where you either listen to this podcast and find out how to do it, or you hire a company like